Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it is time for another edition of Angel Sudsy Recap, where we delve into the world of daytime television and we do a few reality shows on the side. And one of the reality shows that we're doing is The Real Housewives of Auckland. Okay, I mean, there's so much, I don't even know where to begin. But before I start talking about this week's episode, I do want to thank all of my friends on social media, because I had asked last week's episode, I'm like, do Kiwis really think that they're superior to Australians? And what's funny is that my friend Kate in Australia, shout out to Kate, she said, no. She's like, it's just those uppity ladies, right? And then I have a friend in New Zealand who was tweeting with me, and she was like, yeah, we're just superior to them in sport, which was cute. I mean, she wasn't being serious, but I mean, like, it was, or maybe she was serious, but I mean, obviously it's just these uppity women, so I get it. I understand that. And she also said that the only real one that was actually famous before the show was Louise. So despite the show putting on this effort to make it look like Julia was this big child actress when she was little, no one knows who the hell she is. So, okay, got it. Capiche. Okay, we're good. We're on the same page. Okay, so this episode, to quote Lydia from the Housewives of Melbourne, wow. Wow. I mean, okay, where do I begin? Well, congratulations to Angela, because you are now not the most hated housewife in the world. So, kudos to you, girl. In fact, this episode, actually, Angela came off as relatively sane. She wasn't quite as wackadoodle as she has been in the past. So, and she was actually, pretty on top of things. So, kudos to you, Angela. All right. Although I did kind of get into a little bit of an argument with my mother, because she thinks that the part of Leah is actually cast, and that someone has been cast to play Leah, and that it's hokey. And I'm thinking, if I was Leah, why would I want to go onto a reality show as someone not myself, that is not portrayed very flatteringly? And why would Angela, because obviously it would be Angela would be the one that hired her, right? So why would Angela then go through the trouble of staging things that make her look bad, right? Not Leah, Angela. Make Angela look bad. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think Leah is a real person. And I think that, Angela is a real person. And you know what? Now that I think about it, a lot of people in Hollywood that have personal assistants, I've heard horror stories from personal assistants, and not just Hollywood. Like, I've heard horror stories from, people in all kinds of industries that have been personal assistants, about the way that they've been treated by their employers. So, I mean, yeah, Angela can be a little bit eye-rolling at times, but I don't think she's that bad, actually. I know I'm going to go to hell for saying that. I really don't think she's that bad. I think that, it could be a lot worse. Now, granted, those people that are a lot worse probably have the brains to not do it on television. So let's talk about that. So before this season aired, now I knew that there was going to be a jaw-dropping moment where one of the other girls called another girl an N-word, right? And the N-word, is a derogatory term for black people. And so after meeting the housewives on television, in episode 1, I kind of knew that it wasn't going to be Michelle, the one who was calling someone else an N-word. And it was probably going to be her that was called the N-word, because she's the only black one on the cast. Okay, that's fine. But so what happens is, and we didn't really know as the season was progressing. I didn't know where this was going to come from. I didn't know where it was going to be, what was going to be like. I didn't know anything. Was it going to be Angela that said it? Was it going to be Julia? Was it going to be Gilda? Was it going to be Louise? Who knew, right? No one really knew. So today, in this past episode, And this is literally within the first 5 minutes of the episode. Like the episode had just started. So they just started. They're getting on the boat. Now, Gilda is helping Michelle onto the boat. And Julia says, stop treating Michelle like she's your boat N, right? Now, here's the thing. Let's stop. Let's pause. Let's sort of dissect the situation. In Julia's mind, it wasn't insulting because she was actually sticking up for Michelle. But in my mind, you could have used a lot better phrases for that. You could have said, if you would have said, don't treat her like she's your servant, she would have gotten her point across, said the exact same thing almost, and she wouldn't have offended anybody. But no, she had to say boat. And you know what? I've never even heard that phrase. I've never. Now, house I've heard, but not boat. So I don't know what that, yeah. Okay. Now, she is lucky that she said that to Michelle. Now, Michelle did go off. Now, it was kind of a delayed reaction because she needed a minute to soak in and then she went off, right? But I guarantee you, if Julia had said that shit to any of the Atlanta housewives, they would have beat her ass, like right then and there. They would have thrown her ass off the boat and she would have been eaten by sharks. Like, she would have probably been grateful for the sharks because they would have killed her. Like, you just don't say that sort of thing. Now, in essence, it actually was a very sobering lesson for Michelle to learn because, you know, it's an unfortunate state of affairs that the world is in a place where there are people that will hate you for the color of your skin. There are people that will hate you for the God that you worship. There are people that will hate you for the person that you choose to love. You know, and that is unfortunate. It really is. But in a way, I'm really grateful that she has lived her whole life up until this point without having to experience any of that. So that's great. You know, she's had a great life. So, you know, and she still does have a great life. I mean, it's not like her life is over, but I'm just saying, you know, up until that moment, but that moment, you know, that's when that sobering truth. Now, listen, I really don't think that Julia is a racist. I really don't. But we live in a world, and she definitely grew up in an environment where she thinks it's okay to use words like that casually amongst your friends. So, you know, even though she didn't mean it racist, she was actually sticking up for Michelle, you know, she thinks that that's okay because of how she was brought up. So, at the end of the episode, Michelle was like, I will never, ever forgive what... Because they had dinner. Because, I mean, Michelle went off. And Michelle basically, all she did was, like, say, okay, well, she threw a glass of champagne on her, called her a gold digger, which... And, you know, because she married someone so much older, blah, 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 you know. That makes sense, right? Okay, I get it. But at the end of the episode, they all got back to Auckland, and then they met for dinner, like, I don't know, maybe a day later, a couple days later, I don't know. So they met for dinner, and Julia, you know, apologized. She's like, I really didn't mean it to come off racist. I promise you I'm the least racist person I know. And Michelle was like, you know, she told her about her upbringing, and she's like, you know, and being brought up in the church, I know that holding on to bitterness is not a good thing. So they ended up, you know, she's like, I'll never forgive what you said, but I'm willing to move forward. I'm not ever going to forgive you for saying that, but I am willing to move forward. So that's a start, right? But I mean, and Angela, God bless Angela, God bless her. She was providing the comic relief for the entire trip. I mean, from that point forward, she took everyone to this, you know, spa in Port Douglas, and they were all doing this crazy laugh yoga, you know, and then she did this weird thing with Julia where, you know, they were, you know, reading her aura. I don't know what it was, but she made her feel better, so whatever. And then when they were like sitting on the beach, she had gotten her fake tan over her white swimsuit, and I thought it was very funny. I thought it was very, very funny. So, anyways, I just want to say thank you so much for logging on today. I can't wait to see where the show's going next, because that's the big moment that everyone was talking about. And if you haven't seen it, if you're in the United States, you can log on to the Bravo Now app and watch it, because it is crazy. It's legit crazy. Or you can go to bravotv.com and you can watch it there. Thank you so much for logging on. I do appreciate it. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Angel Benton. You can hashtag RHOAKL or Real Housewife Shit to talk about the Real Housewives of Auckland. Or you can also hashtag Bold and Beautiful to talk about the Bold and Beautiful, which I will be doing later tonight. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night. Peace out. Wubba, wubba, wubba.